variety of programs, and we've been doing this for a number of years. So I just want to give you a little bit of intro about what we do at our high school level. I'm not a school district employee, but I actually work at the high school. We also have a couple of other presenters from different communities here that are going to talk after me, as well as some of the student producers that actually produce the videos in Merrill. So from the very beginning, we began broadcasting Board of Education meetings live on UPTV back in 1995. This was kind of just allowed us to, get involved with the schools in some way or fashion. Obviously, we all know Board of Education meetings and city board meetings aren't all that interesting, but it was good to get that information out there. We also had an Urbana School District representative on our UPTV commission, so they would let us know of any activities that are happening in the school that we might want to get involved with and start videoing. We started recording our Urbana High School graduation ceremony in 2007. That's when I started at UPTV. We decided, that's a good start, but we actually want to do more and do more with the actual students and inside the school than just Board of Education meetings. The graduation ceremonies were very popular, and that's what kind of prompted us to start doing more. We worked with UHS staff to recruit students to start producing basketball games in 2007 as well. So we now work with the journalism class, but before it was just me going to high school, and I talked to the principal and said, hey, a lot of people, we got good feedback on the graduation ceremony. We want to start producing high school sports as well. They lend themselves well to television. And she said, well, we don't really have any funding. We don't really have a teacher that wants to do it. It's like, all right, I'll come there. I'll be there on Friday night. I'll set up my camera. I just need a couple of students to help me out. Well, we don't really have a classroom. I don't care. Just give me any student. So I got a couple of students that would get into mischief at times and didn't really have a place in the high school. I said, give them to me. We'll do it. It'll be fun. So that's how we kind of started. We began working with the high school journalism class in 2012, which allowed us to do even more programs. There were more students available to us. We started streaming those games, and not just doing basketball games. We picked up football games. Now we do football, wrestling, girls volleyball, girls basketball, girls softball, girls soccer, boys soccer, and boys baseball. So we've expanded, so it's a lot of long nights and busy nights at Urbana High School. Students also began producing their own talk show in 2003. They created their own studio and production room, which is kind of cool. I work for the city, and they built a council chambers when they built the building, which is great for city council meetings. And then they had 2 storage closets on each side of the council chambers. Well, one of those storage closets became my office, and the other closet eventually became our production room and our studio. And that's the exact same thing that happened here. They had a classroom, and they had one storage closet that became their production room. Then they took over the other storage closet. They put up a green screen, they got lights, they got microphones. They started producing their own television show there. Here's a couple of things at the high school football game. This is our very first football broadcast. So they were very excited, and they dressed to match and wanted to be on camera the whole time. And I'm like, we got to show parts of the game to you guys. Here's just a clip from our one of our recent broadcasts. This was the 8th grade championship game. That kind of our production value is, we have microphones and everything that they wear in headsets, but generally for basketball and football games, it tends to be just one camera because we only have a number. Even though we work with the journalism class, it's only a weighted part of their curriculum, so they're not graded on the actual work they do. There's 30 kids in the journalism class, but we usually only have 4 or 5, and at times those 4 or 5 students are the athletes on the floor, so they can't help us on certain nights.
Nearly lost. Now it's Chase Adams inside. Blocked by Boswell. Tyler Boswell's not a tall guy, but he played fundamental basketball. Sails a 3, and he knocks it in! The crowd wants it in a timeout, Coach Butler. Everyone on the Tigers side on their feet. 6-point game, Joey, 6-point game. Oh my!
So this were 2 of our high school students that do the commentary there, and then our other high school students that's running the camera. And it used to be when I first showed up and there was just me and 1 or 2 of the other kids, I was running the camera, or I was running the computer, I was doing something. And now it's like I just get to sit back and eat popcorn and watch the game and listen to their commentary. So that's pretty cool that it's grown to that point. We also work with the middle school. They have an after-school program. We do that about once every couple of years. We'll work with the after-school program. We've done going out to businesses and filming public service announcements, working with the park district. We also did a newscast with the students that was really widely popular that we're looking to in the future to kind of bring that to our high school level as well, where they're producing a semi-regular newscast. Probably started off about once a month or so. We, as staff, always help produce the Board of Education meetings. Now we have our journalism students that also run the basketball games and football games and all the sports. They begin producing the Board of Education meetings and library board meetings. We think this really helps with letting the Board of Education members know that, hey, this program exists, the city's in the schools, and this is what the kids are getting out of it, because they see the students there every week or every other week producing their Board of Education meetings. I also go and produce regular news feature stories about district activities and work regularly with the CU one-to-one mentoring program, producing videos about the mentoring program. I think this really helps in just the market that I get to go film, but that's not really the case. So I go there, but it also gives me another outlet to tell them about the program that we have. Here is the middle school students for the after-school program filming their newscast. That's actually in our council chambers, and we pulled up a green screen and everything that we're filming there. This is probably my favorite day ever at work. So we hosted an arts summer camp from the park district, ages 5 to 12 for a morning. And the thing about 5 to 12-year-olds, I can talk to a 5-year-old and be really interesting to them, but a 12-year-old thinks I'm a moron, and vice versa. So, there's an age difference there to where what I'm saying to entertain a 5-year-old isn't going to entertain a 12-year-old. So it was cool to have them all at once. There's 40 of them total and one of me. So that was fun. Here's Stephen Thompson. He's an Urbana High School junior. He's filming the Board of Education meetings. And as you can see, their control room in the boardroom is just right. There is no control room. They're right out there with the Board of Education meetings. The board president always thanks whoever's running the cameras at the start of the meeting, and then one of our students started to go out in the middle of the room, and now they all go out to the middle of the room and wave to the camera at home once they're introduced, so that's pretty cool. I did not tell them to do that. This is one of the news feature pieces that I was talking about. We did this last week, and what my plan is for eventually the high school students to start doing more and more of these rather than me.
Ready, set, go. Students from Leal Elementary School were off and running. The Leal Olympics is a long-standing tradition in which students participate in 4 physical activities.
50-meter dash, and we start there just with a quick sprint, and then the kids move over to the 400-meter run, which is one lap around the track. And when they finish there, they move over to the broad jump, which is just a standing jump. And then they move lastly over to the baseball throw, which they get 2 throws there. They can throw the ball as far as they can.
So you kind of get the idea of the feature pieces that I'm looking to, have the students start producing. And that's something that I have our what we call our head of broadcasting, high school senior. He's graduating, he's going to Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois, to pursue a broadcasting degree. But we're going to kind of reshuffle some assignments. It's great that they're running the library board meetings, but I would rather have my part-time camera operators run the library board meetings and have the students out there producing feature stories like that. I think that will probably help them longer term in the future as far as if they're trying to get jobs at local news stations and things of that nature. We also started streaming our games on Facebook Live this semester, the spring semester, so baseball and softball and girls soccer games have been on our Facebook Live, and that's been a tremendous improvement. Before they were on NFHS Network, I don't know how many of you are familiar with NFHS Network, but it's a paid subscription service that markets itself to high schools around the nation. But if you want to watch a game, it's going to cost you $9 or $10 to watch a game. If you want to subscribe to the whole year, it's like $150. And it's great that that's out there, but I want to give it to them for free if I can. So that's what we're doing with Facebook Live. Our first Facebook Live was baseball game, and we got lucky. It ended 13-12. Urbana won with a walk-off home run, so it was like the perfect game for us to cover. Plenty of action. But that got 1,000 views just when it was Facebook Live, whereas when we were on NFHS Network, like 3 or 4 people would pay the price to watch the game. So it kind of reached a new audience to where, everybody's on Facebook. Probably half of you haven't heard of NFHS Network, nor has anyone else. So you have to, they're already on Facebook. So we went where the people were rather than trying to direct them to NFHS Network. And here's a quick clip of one of our softball games.
And in strides, Megan Weiss walked in the second. Grounded out too short in the third and reached on an error. And inning you go. Into the parking lot. And it hits a car. That was a good one. Not if you own the car, but loud noise. Looked like it caught the back bumper of the Volkswagen.
And I love when the kids go off track. I have so much great video of them where they're like, tonight, this is where I'm going after the game for dinner. It has nothing to do with the game. Those are the best parts. They've also branched out. This is Joey Wright. He's the voice of the Tigers Media Network, who you heard on the clips that we played. And he's with Superintendent Don Owen. And this was a Halloween special that we filmed where they're taking a tour of the haunted 4th floor of the Urbana High School, which is now like an HVAC system. But before it, long ago, it was a classroom and things of that nature. So it's just cool that we have the support of the superintendent and the Board of Education. So that's all I really have for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll save questions for end so we can get through all of our presenters. Are you guys going to go next? You're up here. You might as well.
Might as
Is that
well.
cool?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Sorry, we're all a little disorganized. Yeah, you can do light, Hunter. Thank you. My name's Nick Meyer. I work with Merrill Area Public Schools and the Merrill Productions team. Most of you know my boss, Deb Burnett. Say hi. So I've been working with the school district and the channel for the last 8 to 9 years. I was a junior in high school, actually, hence why I look a little younger than most of my colleagues up here. So I started as a student, as Anthony and Draco also are, well, Draco was a student as of last year. It's been great having to work with all these guys and gals too. It's important. We feel that it's important that these guys get these opportunities because, I mean, look at what can end up happening for them. I mean, we have had students that have gone on to now work for local news stations, and big cities. So it's nice that we give these guys an opportunity to look somewhere else other than the traditional route of college, because they really do get that opportunity. I'm drawing blanks right now. I apologize. It's nice having the center in Merrill Area Public Schools too, because we do a lot of the stuff. I know he was just talking that they're working, doing basketball, baseball. We've done all of that. We just started doing multi-camera productions this year with all of our sports, regional sports, stuff like that. I started last year actually a talk show with our superintendent, who has been very supportive of us all the way through it, everything that we've done, and he has been nothing but helpful to us. He's also helped commentate our homecoming game this last year because he was a football coach in Arizona when he was down there, so that was very awesome to get to work with him on that one. Getting these guys to come in and work too, I mean, a sophomore in high school, that's I don't know if any of you know how high schoolers are nowadays, but sometimes they aren't the most cooperative with wanting to do stuff outside of school. So to get guys like him and a few of our other workers that are always willing to come out and help, it's awesome. And I think I'm gonna turn it over to Anthony first here to give his perspective on why he even joined our little ragtag group.
Okay, well, my name's Anthony, to start with. I started with media productions because I just felt like I wanted to do something with cameras and stuff because I love photography. And from joining media productions in Merrill, it's pretty much branched off that now I have a larger skill set with technology and other stuff with media. I like building computers and stuff, and some of the stuff that we do in media productions ties greatly into what we do with cameras and all that kind of technology stuff. And it's really nice to have a place that we can go and learn more about the technology and branch off from there.
All right, well, hello. My name is Draco Fink. It's nice to meet y'all tonight. Well, I first got into media productions in my junior year, the second semester. At that point, I was just looking for an elective. Wasn't really sure. I was looking for something kind of fun to try, a little bit of a break from my normal classes. And a friend of mine convinced me to actually join. And boy, was it an experience. Just the amount of invaluable experience that I've gathered from media productions alone is just astounding. Like, there's so many things that we have gotten to work with that most schools normally wouldn't, such as our TriCaster system. That gives us single-handedly the ability to do these multi-camera productions and live stream them all at once. So, you know, it's pretty crazy to be able to take something like that and then use it to help our community. And I thought that was pretty valuable. And like, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. A lot of coffee's keeping me awake right now. I apologize. But after joining media productions, kind of sparked a love for film and photography, working with sounds and editing all these grand productions, even though they may just be for a few people viewing in our community. Still feels like we're part of a close-knit group and an integral part of our community. Just to be able to supply our community with things like the Board of Education committees and the library boards, all the school games, much like what the Urbana High School does. And I'm thankful for that, you know. Thank you for your time.
I think another thing to point out too is that Merrill has a unique opportunity that not only is this like a little club that they get to do, it's also a class that Deb Burnett teaches, and they're actually getting graded for all these fun projects that they get to do. And it's unique. I can't state how unique it is that not only has the city of Merrill allowed this to happen, but that Merrill Area Public Schools allows this to continue on its 18th year, I believe. Yeah, 18 years of, you know, students just coming through, and I mean, they get to have their fun projects, but then they still sit down and do all these serious things like graduation coming up in 2 weeks. I don't know when you guys have graduation coming up here, but I know it's a big production for us, and our principal loves it every year.
I ask you a question about